The trustworthiness of Prophet Muhammad, a peace be upon him, and the merchants of Makkah. In the bustling city of Makkah, long before the rise of Islam, trade and commerce were the lifeblood of society. Merchants traveled far and wide, dealing in goods, wealth, and treasures. Yet amidst the noise of bargaining, profit-seeking, and at times dishonesty, there stood one man who was known by a title that carried more weight than gold itself: Al-Sadiq, Al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy. That man was none other than Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Long before he declared prophethood, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had established such a reputation for honesty and integrity that even his fiercest opponents could not deny it. The people of Makkah might have argued with his message, they might have resisted his call to worship one God, but when it came to matters of trust, there was no one they believed in more than him. The Quraysh, the leaders of Makkah, had wealth, jewels, and valuable possessions that they feared might be stolen or lost. And despite their wealth and power, there was only one person they turned to for safekeeping: Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They would say, place it with Muhammad, it will be safe with him. This trust was not a small matter. These were the very people who mocked him, who insulted him, and who rejected his message. Yet in their hearts they knew that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would never betray an oath, never steal, never break a trust. Their tongues denied his prophethood, but their actions testified to his unmatched honesty. The proof of this comes most clearly during one of the most critical moments in history, the night of the Hijrah. When Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prepared to migrate from Makkah to Medina, the Quraysh had plotted to kill him. They surrounded his house, weapons in hand, waiting for the moment to strike. Yet inside that very house were treasures, valuables, and trusts belonging to those same Quraysh leaders. Think about it for a moment. Here was a man whose enemies were ready to take his life, and yet in his possession were their valuables. A lesser man might have fled with those possessions in hand, claiming them as compensation for years of persecution. But not Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was not a man of betrayal, he was a man of divine integrity. Before leaving, he entrusted his cousin, Ali ibn Abi Talib, with a sacred duty. He told him, return these trusts to their owners. And so while Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, risked his life escaping to Medina, his cousin remained behind to ensure that every single item, every coin, every jewel was returned to its rightful owner. This act speaks louder than words. It tells the world that true trustworthiness is not dependent on whether someone is your friend or your enemy. True honesty is unconditional. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demonstrated that being trustworthy means upholding justice even for those who oppose you. It was this very integrity that laid the foundation for Islam's spread. People saw not only his words but also his actions. They witnessed a man who never lied, never cheated, never deceived. That was why his wife, Khadija R.A., chose him as her business partner and later as her husband. She saw in him what others did too, a man who valued truth above all else. The lessons from this story are timeless. In today's world, corruption, betrayal, and dishonesty often dominate business and politics. Yet if leaders, merchants, and ordinary people alike were to embody the trustworthiness of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, society would transform. Trust would replace suspicion, integrity would replace greed, justice would replace exploitation. The Quran itself reinforces this principle. Indeed, Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due. Surah An-Nisa 458. This was not just a commandment in words, it was a reality lived by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself. Whether it was the wealth of a believer or the property of a non-believer, whether it belonged to a friend or an enemy, he upheld the trust with absolute honesty. Even those who rejected his message could not deny his character. That is why they continued to deposit their most valuable possessions with him. It was a silent confession. We may not believe in his religion, but we believe in his honesty. The message for us is clear. True success, true honor, and true influence do not come from wealth, power, or status. They come from integrity. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not win hearts with riches or armies. He won hearts with trustworthiness, humility, and truth. If today we, As individuals, families, and nations hold fast to this principle, our lives will change. Trust will flourish in our homes, honesty will strengthen our businesses, and societies will prosper. The world is desperate for leaders and people who are truly al-Amin, trustworthy and honest. The legacy of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, teaches us this. To be honest is to be powerful. To keep trust is to win respect. And to uphold integrity is to follow the path of the Messenger of Allah.